beauties, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking all about my 5 favorite top eyeshadow palettes. These are going to be all neutral palettes, and these are palettes that if I was stuck on an island somewhere out in the open and I only had to bring 5 eyeshadow palettes that I could use for eternity, that were just palettes that were good quality, that were pigmented, that had like my favorite types of shades in it, I would select these 5 as of right now. These are my 5 holy grail eyeshadow palettes, and these are a little bit more high end. I will also be doing a video for you guys with my 5 top favorite affordable drugstore eyeshadow palettes coming up within the next 2 weeks, so definitely stay tuned. But these are eyeshadow palettes that I definitely gravitate towards. These are palettes that I just absolutely love. And there's one in the bunch that I actually even repurchased because I went through some of the shadows, which really super rarely happens with me because I do collect eyeshadow palettes and I'm a super like eyeshadow palette fanatic. And I hope you guys are doing lovely today, and so let's go ahead and jump into it. So I'm going to start with what I feel like is one of the more basic eyeshadow palettes. It is still like in the neutral category, but it is the LORAC Unzipped Rose Gold palette. And for those of you who know, if you've been with me for any amount of time, I am super into like mauves, into, well, purples, but not like super intense purples, but I love rose gold. I love mauve. I love those types of colors on my eyes because sometimes I will tone my hair like lilac or purple or mauve, and so it really nicely coordinates with it. And so this is what this palette looks like, and this is the only palette, actually one of like 2 eyeshadow palettes that I have ever repurchased a second of. And this one right here, if you just look at it, it is so basic. It has almost the same types of shades and color scheme, but if you look closer, there is like a distinct difference between the shadows. You have like all the rose golds, but this one's more bronzy, this one's more like mauve, this one is like a lighter pink, then you have like a goldish reflect, and then you have a lot of really nice toned mattes. And I absolutely love this palette for like an everyday type of look. I can go a little bit lighter, I can go a little bit darker, and I am just obsessed. This is definitely like a holy grail for me, and it definitely stays like on my vanity for me to like grab if I don't know what to like put on my eyes. It's actually what I have on my eyes today. I did like a super simple, like a no makeup look, and I have this one right here all over the lid, and it's very reflective. They're really pigmented. There is a little bit of kick up, but I personally don't mind it whatsoever because that's what gives the pigment such good pigment. But this is definitely in my top 5 neutral eyeshadow palettes for sure. Okay, next, moving on. And by the way, these are in like no particular order. These are just like my top 5 neutral eyeshadow palettes. So the second one I'm going to talk about is the Nude Huda Beauty palette. Oh my gosh, the second it came out, I was like, I must get it. And now I'm at a point where like not a lot of eyeshadow palettes like really like grab my attention and really kind of like speak to me and get me excited. And this was one of the palettes that really got me excited. And so this is the palette. And so this one is very interesting because I feel like it has definitely different types of finishes. So it has a couple glitter shades, which I absolutely love. And then it has a couple like metallics, a couple really nice like shimmers. And I have been loving the mattes are really creamy, really buttery. It has my types of like mauve types of tones. And you can go, I feel like, many ways with this palette because you can go a little bit more bronzy. You can go like super extra va-va-voom, like sexy reddish maroon burgundy. You can go a little bit more neutral and a little bit more like brown. And so I really love this palette, but it is like a rosy undertone. And so this is another palette that I've been absolutely loving. Like if you guys look, these are like little glitter shades, but they almost feel wet. There's a couple like metallic, really beautiful shimmery shades. Let me swatch a couple of these for you just so you guys can see. So there's the metallic, there's the glitter shade, okay, and there's a little bit of fallout, but it is just so reflective, so beautiful. Oh my gosh, like on the lids, it looks stunning. And then there's another metallic gold. And I've been really enjoying this palette. Oh my gosh, did you guys just see my forehead? I didn't even realize like when that happened, but I must have touched my face with shadow fingers. So most definitely excuse that, and let's continue. Alright, so my next palette is a palette that I have loved since the second it came out, since the second I got my hands on it, and it's the Pretty Vulgar Rising Phoenix palette. And first of all, I absolutely love like the packaging and the bird vibes that it gives me. And with this palette, there's actually more than one tie for me because I grew up in Phoenix. I love the Rising Phoenix and Harry Potter. And so there's multiple things that I absolutely love about this palette. It has super cute packaging, but what we're here for is the actual shadows. And so, dun dun dun, it has a cute little bird cage design on the inside. And this palette, I feel like, is extremely versatile. I feel like you can come up with so many different looks. You have like warmer tones and more brownish shades. You have more of like a burgundy, deeper, smokier eye. This deeper, darker matte is wonderful to deepen any type of look. Then you have like a pop of purple, which you can just put that all over the lid and it transforms the look. You have a lot of like neutral shades. You have a beautiful like inner corner shade. So real quick, pause for just a second. I need to explain briefly what has happened. I was editing the video yesterday and somehow some content got deleted and I skipped one of the palettes. I had no material to edit for my fourth eyeshadow neutral palette, and so I freaked out for a second, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to record the whole video, and then I'm like, do I actually? So not everyone is perfect, so I am inserting my number 4 eyeshadow palette favorite right now. I don't know how the content got deleted. Maybe I didn't even press start because sometimes I do record in increments, and so I had to insert this clip before we move on to the final favorite neutral eyeshadow palette. And I am a firm believer in things happening for a reason, so maybe this clip was meant to be recorded and inserted because I actually changed my makeup a little bit because it's a whole new day and I actually used this eyeshadow palette. And so the eyeshadow palette we're going to be mentioning is the Lolita Por Vida palette. It was in my favorites a couple times actually, and I absolutely love this palette. It's what I have on my eyes today. I have this shade right here, super reflective metallic with a little bit of this in the crease. And this is definitely the newest addition to my collection of like neutral favorites, holy grail eyeshadow palettes. But I have really frequently been reaching for this palette. It has my ultimate favorite glitter shade right here. And this pigmented glitter shade is absolutely phenomenal. If you have seen my February favorites video, I have this shadow all over the lid and it is just spectacular. It is so reflective, so amazing. It has almost like a wet feel to the touch and it is just stunning all over the lid. If you look really closely, it has like reflex of like green and orange and I don't know what other like reflective awesome like glitter pigments, but somehow all those colors combined make the most beautiful bronzy glitter shade. And by far this is my favorite glitter shadow of all time. It is just so stunning, so reflective. And we do have different finishes from like a metallic to satin to glitter to really beautiful matte. And as I mentioned before, this is more of like a rose gold mauve palette, or you can go a little bit more into like the orange warm tones. And so it's such a really nice kind of versatile palette. I really have been reaching for it so often. I've been really enjoying this palette and I will be the saddest person ever when this glitter shade runs out. I'm probably gonna repurchase the whole palette just for this shade because every time I go out and I pop this all over the lid, like I get so many compliments. Like everyone stops me and asks me like what I have on my eyes, and so I owe it all to this shadow. And I wish like there was a single of this color, but the whole palette overall is amazing and you get so many beautiful looks that you can create. But this shadow, just like, oh my gosh, just the most amazing thing ever. We're gonna jump right back into the other video and here's my number 5 favorite neutral palette. Alright, and the last but not least eyeshadow palette that I almost feel like verges on not being a neutral eyeshadow palette because it has a couple like more intense, darker shades is the McGrath Mothership 5. And speaking of Pat McGrath, have you guys seen that they're coming out with like a flower mauve palette? I'm not even sure what the shades look like on the inside yet, but I just saw a quick picture on Instagram and I am so beyond excited to see what it looks like. I cannot wait. And Pat McGrath has amazing like pigments and amazing quality. It is a little bit on the pricier side, so I usually use this palette like on more special occasions, not just every day, but it is amazing quality. So this is what this palette looks like on the inside. And I would want to say, I feel like this one has my second favorite glitter shade besides the Kat Von D Reina. And this one right here is more of like a rose gold glitter, but you can use this as a top coat. You can use this all over the lid. You can use this just like on days where I do like almost like a no makeup look. I will just take this shade and just pop it on the top of my eyelid and it is just stunning. It reflects beautifully in the sunlight. It has two other really interesting, beautiful, like almost dual chrome shadows. So this one is also like a glitter shade, but it's dual chrome. It changes from like a gold to like a green. This one right here is another beautiful like gold glitter shade. It is just spectacular how you can apply these colors on different matte shades and they will completely transform the look. And don't get me wrong, I love a matte look, but I love a nice little sparkle or a little shimmer on my eyelid for sure, even for like an all natural makeup look. And so I've been loving this matte right here. It's like a dusty rose shade. And so I'll do this in the crease. I'll pop one of these like all over the lid and it is just spectacular. And if you want to go from like a day look to a night look, you can just pop one of these in the crease and like on the bottom lash line and it will just transform your look. And so those are my top 5 like holy grail neutral eyeshadow palettes. Now, as a little bonus, because I thought about whether or not I should include this one in the video, but I think I'm going to mention it anyways, and it's an all matte Viseart neutral matte palette. Now, this palette is all matte, so it doesn't have any shimmer, any sparkle, any other finish, no satin colors. It just has all mattes. And I really wanted to mention this palette because it has some of the best quality mattes like out on the market. And this palette is one of those palettes that if I am not using my favorite eyeshadow palettes for like a day-to-day look, first of all, it has an amazing ability to do like an all matte eye if you're doing like a winged liner. Absolutely amazing. But for the eyeshadow palettes that have, for example, like all rainbow colors, or that have beautiful shadows but don't have any like nice neutrals or matte colors, I will grab this palette and I will just reach for it and do like a basic crease or like a basic base or darken it a little bit or whatever I need. I feel like this is an amazing palette for just like alterations to your eye look, or if you have like a lot of crazy colored eyeshadow palettes and don't have a lot of like neutral shades to reach for in that palette, I will grab this one. And I know they have a couple of these. I know they have a more warm toned one that's all matte, but this is my favorite because I am more of like a cool toned girl. As you guys know, I love like my purples and grays and blacks. So this one is one that has a little bit more of like a grayer tone almost, but it has beautiful like neutral shades as well and amazing cream colors, amazing pigmented, super pigmented black. So if you want to like darken any look and you don't have any black in that specific palette, you just reach this one. And this is like an all-purpose matte palette that's neutral, and I've been loving it for any other look that I don't have enough neutrals, that I don't have enough like crease shadows or don't have anything darker to like darken my look with. I will reach for this palette in mixture with another one, or if I'm looking forward to making like an all matte look as well, this is the palette that I just absolutely love. And it is a pretty penny, but I feel like you get your money's worth because there is a lot of shadow in here and the quality is amazing and it will last you like a really long time, even if you use it like on a daily basis. That'd be it. Those are all my eyeshadow palettes that I would highly recommend, that I cannot live without, that just comfort my soul. I really wanted to share those with you guys just in case you guys are wondering like, oh, what's a really good quality, really good palette that I might use constantly. These are my top 5 picks with the added neutral palette by Viseart and Viseart. I never know how to say it, but anyways, that'd be it for today. I will be doing like a top 5 eyeshadow palettes from the drugstore in the next 2 weeks or so. So definitely stay tuned. I will also be announcing the Physicians Formula Vault winner this weekend. So definitely stay tuned. And so that'd be it. I am sending you guys lots of love from me to you. Stay happy, stay positive, and I will see you guys super soon. Lots of love. Bye. Mwah.